Balan Wonderworld is a 3D action platforming game developed by the newly created Balan Company via Square Enix, headed up by the legendary former SEGA programmer Yuji Naka. Art direction is coming from Arzest, handled by their executive vice president Naoto Ohshima, a man responsible for creating a somewhat popular character for SEGA. We'll break down what all of this means exactly momentarily, but here's what you need to know. This game is going to be a big deal, and it's going to come out of seemingly nowhere. It's a game with mass appeal and a big marketing push on the way, and it's aiming to bring back the 3D platforming goodness of the late 90s and early 2000s Sonic games. To understand the power of the development behind this title, we turn to the ghost of SEGA's past. Back before Sonic the Hedgehog became the slightly above average franchise that we know today, Sonic the Hedgehog was extraordinary. That was due in big part to the two names we've already heard before in this video, Yuji Naka and Naoto Ohshima. I'm going to do my best to pronounce those names throughout this thing, but consider this an apology in advance for every time I fail to do so. These two were the backbone of the aptly named Sonic team. Ohshima is most famous for creating Sonic the Hedgehog himself. The man created the original design way back in the early 90s for the original game. While he was at it, he also created Dr. Robotnik, aka Eggman. After that, he continued his journey at SEGA, creating countless new characters for the company and working on games like Sonic CD, fan favorite Nights into Dreams, and of course Sonic Adventure. He would then move on to found Arzest, the company he currently represents as he works on Balan Wonderworld. Prior to this, however, Arzest was best known for working closely as a third-party developer for Nintendo, doing work on some of the Yoshi's Island spin-offs, and even some of the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. The man can't escape the blue blur. On the other end of this duo is Yuji Naka. When you think of Sonic video games, this is the man you should think of. Although he's co-credited as the creator of Sonic, along with Ohshima, this is Miyamoto's closest peer when it comes to iconic platforming game developers. From programmer to producer to developer himself, Yuji Naka has had his hands in nearly every big Sonic video game up through Sonic Riders. Naka's departure in 2006 from SEGA and Sonic Team caused a ripple in the development of Sonic 06 that resulted in the somewhat lackluster release. Okay, lackluster is giving it quite a bit of credit there. Regardless, his body of work speaks for itself. Take a stroll down this guy's Wikipedia page sometime. It really is incredible. What you have here is two of the most important people in the video game industry when it comes to Sonic games. And the boys are back, working on Balan Wonderworld. Balan is a platformer that sits at home perfectly among classics like the 3D Mario games, Crash Bandicoot or Spyro, and of course, Sonic. It also draws comparison to some modern 3D platformers inspired by those very same titles, games like A Hat in Time or Yooka-Laylee. But make no mistake, this is no indie game. You now know the team behind it. Let's dig in just a bit on what to expect from Balan Wonderworld itself. The main hook for Balan Wonderworld is pretty out there, so it's best left to the pros. The official website says, Balan Wonderworld is a wondrous action platformer game themed around a mysterious musical theater. The stars of the show will use special abilities from a multitude of characterful costumes as they adventure in the bizarre and imaginary land of Wonderworld. Here, memories and vistas from the real world mix with the things that people hold dear. 12 different tales await our stars in Wonderworld, each with their own unique quirks. They'll explore all the corners of these labyrinth stages using all the tricks and gimmicks hidden along the way to get to the heart of each touching story. In other, slightly less flattering words, you're looking at a 3D platforming game set in an overworld, with 12 levels containing various content and objectives. It's all wrapped around an admittedly confusing plot that almost echoes Kingdom Hearts with a little bit of Psychonauts thrown in for good measure. Story aside, you're dropped into the game as one of two customizable main characters who will venture through the 12 worlds that themselves contain more than 80 costumes spread across them. The costumes represent a big portion of the gameplay variety in Balan Wonderworld. Think along the lines of the assorted suits from Mario. These costumes change the main action of the player character, and there are a lot of changes to be seen. Everything from flight, to combat power-ups, and even speed boosts. Wait, you guys see this, right? Whatever. The gameplay looks tight and familiar. It's not reinventing the wheel here, but it certainly looks more than passable. Graphically, it looks as charming and as timeless as a cartoony platformer can. The music sounds amazing, which makes sense because it sounds almost identical to the fanfare sometimes heard in Super Mario Odyssey. It's actually a bit on the nose in that respect. Here, listen. But hey, use what works, I guess. Clearly we aren't veering away from getting close to competitive IP here. On the topic of music, although it may be abundantly clear, music is a huge influence in Balan Wonderworld, in more than just the audio category. The entire game is based around the theme of musical theater, and the developers have promised extravagant musical numbers will be included as a celebration for completing every level after a boss battle. That information comes from the Balan Wonderworld official website, which has a wealth of information not currently being widely reported by media outlets. Namely, the biggest miss so far is in the curious case of the Tims. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 fans, if you aren't sold on Balan Wonderworld yet, you need to strap in. The main overworld in Balan Wonderworld is called the Isle of Tims. On the surface, this overworld serves a similar purpose to the Sonic Adventure fields like Station Square or Mystic Ruins. An open-world location that the player uses to uncover secrets, solve puzzles, and eventually travel between main levels. Tims are the titular creatures that inhabit the Isle of Tims, the adorable little bunny duck-looking things that are born from happiness felt by the inhabitants of the real world. Which essentially means that we're on a closed-loop Tim creation system. Seeing a Tim makes me happy, I inhabit the real world, and thus a Tim is born? I think? I don't really know. But anyway, Tims are further described on the Balan Wonderworld website as a trusty ally who will help you on your adventure. And then drops the Megaton news, a bit on raising Tims. If you're not foaming at the mouth by now, it's because you're not a true Sonic Adventure fan. Go back and play it. And then hop back in this video and get ready to talk about Chao. Chao are the equally adorable Tims equivalent of the Sonic Adventure series. These little guys walked so Tims could fly. In Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, you would collect Chao eggs in the main level, and then raise your Chao in an optional facet of the game. The Chao Garden is a beloved part of the Sonic Adventure games. Fans spent numerous hours training Chao with perfect stats to compete in assorted minigames and assist with progression. Some have spent more time raising Chao than they have playing the bulk of the Sonic Adventure games themselves. In Balan Wonderworld, we can see from screenshots that there's a similar system in place. For example, on the left of this screenshot, you'll see inventory items that'll be used to improve your Tims and raise more of them. It's not a stretch to see the correlation between Tims and Chao just from these small details. All signs point to an involved system that will fill the Chao-shaped void in any fan's heart. They'll come in different shapes and sizes and colors, and there's even a tease to something called the Tim Tower, which appears to be the endgame progression gimmick of the mode. We hope to hear more details in the month leading up to release, but true Sonic fans are already keeping a close eye. Let's wrap up on why Balan Wonderworld is about to take off. It's going to have massive appeal to a wide range of ages and interests. On the surface, it'll be interesting for kids, but it also checks a few boxes in the anime crowds. Large Japanese audiences will likely propel the fandom into overdrive as we hurtle towards a worldwide release. Square Enix is gigantic in Japan, as are adorable platformers and characters. 3D action games like this are having another moment after lying dormant for a number of years. This game is being released in 24 languages simultaneously across regions. It's launching on all consoles, including Switch and PC, with full upgrades available from PS4 and Xbox One to PS5 and Xbox Series X respectively. And it's coming to next gen at just the right time. You want Balan for your platform of choice? You get Balan for your platform of choice. Square Enix is swinging for the fences on marketing for this thing. Make no mistake, this is the first Balan Wonderworld game from the Balan Company. They named the development company after the game. Sound familiar? Now listen, there's a chance that this game comes out and it doesn't meet the lofty expectations I've laid out here. At which point, we'll look back on this preview and we'll laugh and laugh. But then again, there are people that say Sonic Adventure doesn't meet expectations either, and those people are idiots. Based off of previews, the track record of internal talent, and the publishing power of Square Enix, I think this is one to watch in early 2021.